Welcome everybody. We're cooking with Chef Tony today. We're making brunch. So we're gonna have some salmon croquettes, we're gonna have some creamy cheese grits, and we're gonna have some fried sweet potatoes with onions and red bell peppers. All right, so let's start. All right, so here we go. I use this canned salmon. Let's see if you can see it. The light's a little bright, but it's double O pink wild caught Alaskan salmon. So what I do is I drain the salmon and put it in a bowl here. Let me just turn this light down a little bit. All right. So here I have some diced sweet potatoes. I have some peppers and onions, and we're gonna go ahead and add this to the pot. Pull this closer. Add this to the pot here. Let's see how hot it is. All right, let's see. All right, so I'm gonna add this to the pot. Let that get soft, maybe about 10 minutes or so. So now what I'm gonna do is put on some gloves and start getting this salmon underway. The reason I use gloves is because I don't like the salmon smell to stay on my hands for too long. Even if you wash your hands, even if you put lemon juice on your hands or whatever the case may be, you definitely have salmon smell still on your hands. It's just not appealing, it's not attractive. So I use gloves. You use any kind of gloves you want. These are the gloves that I have on hand today. All right, so I'll show you my trick on how I dismantle my salmon. I'm my own cameraman today, so just, you know what I'm saying, bear with me. All right, put this over here. So in here I have some diced onions and peppers. All right, so just a little tip for your salmon. Some people like to use the whole thing, bones and all. The bones are actually edible. They're soft, they're not hard. But me personally, I don't like the bones. So like this here, if you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and take this whole mess in the middle out. And again, if some bones are left in, it's okay because they're completely edible. All right. Now this here, if you can see, I don't like any of this skin to be in my salmon croquettes. I don't like any of it. That's how my great grandma did it, how my gammy did it, how my mom did it. So I'm doing it the same way. And again, you can't be, you're not gonna be perfect with taking the skin off, but take as much skin as you can off. And as many bones as you can out. So here we get like this. If you can see, on this side, I'm taking some of the skin off, and then you just drop it in your bowl. Check it here. So you see like this, it's a little skin. If you want to, you can be very detailed with it and drop it in here, but it'll be all right. So at this point, I've gotten everything as far as the bones and the skin out. I've just put it all in the mixing bowl. And what I like to do is just mix it with my hands first, as opposed to using a spoon. I like to fill everything and make sure I don't have too big of chunks of the salmon. All right, here we go. As you can see, sauteing down nicely. So to this, I'm going to add a little bit of onion powder. A little bit of garlic powder. A little bit of cayenne pepper. A little bit of black pepper. A little bit of salt. A little bit of this Montreal chicken seasoning. And then with the salt too, you can use whatever salt you want. You can use the sea salt, pink Himalayan salt, whatever you have on deck. This is actually a savory fried sweet potato mixture, so it's not going to be too sweet. So get this in here like this. Show you right here. Alright, then you want to let this cook down a little bit more. And I do have, let's see, to my salmon cake mixture. This is essential. Lawry's, however you want to pronounce it, seasoning salt. And with salt, my rule is you always want to add less than what you need, and you taste it to see if you need to add more. Because we're gonna add an egg in here, beaten egg to bind it all together. But before the egg gets in here, you still want to taste it to see if you got all the seasonings right. To me, I hate anything salty. Too salty, it's not good. Right, so onion powder, my favorite and everything. Boom, dill weed. And it's good for colors too. Of course, you know me, I love spice. Cayenne pepper. I've just recently started adding this to my salmon croquette mixture, Old Bay seasoning. Not too much, because you don't want it to be like a seafood boil. Just a little bit for the flavor. I love adding lemon pepper. Because normally I would add regular pepper and lemon juice anyway. So lemon pepper just eliminates it. I'm not sure if I added garlic powder to this. I don't remember. I want to add it anyway. Garlic powder. Add some minced garlic. About two teaspoons of minced garlic. And of course, you can mince your own garlic freshly if you like. And even though I said I added the lemon pepper over here, I'm still going to add just a few sprinkles of lemon juice. And you can use fresh lemon juice if you like. Alright, so let me use the same fork. So mix it together. Now me, I know it's seasoned correctly, so I don't need to taste it. But if you're out here, if it's your first time making it, if you're not sure on the seasonings, you definitely at this moment can go ahead and taste it to see if you need to add something else or if you added too much of something. If you added too much of salt, I would say to kind of go more heavy on the garlic powder, go more heavy on the dill weed, go more heavy on the spice to kind of steer away from the salt. But if you added too much salt, realistically, it's gonna be too salty. But this is perfect seasoning. So let me go ahead and get my egg ready. I'm actually using cage-free organic brown eggs. So for every can of salmon, you're gonna use 1 egg. You can use the white egg, brown egg, whatever you want to do. To make it easier, I put it in a little small separate bowl. Now go ahead, just whisk it up real quick. Whisk it up real quick. Add in here to the salmon cake mixture. Let me go ahead and stir up these sweet potatoes. It's looking pretty good. Oh yeah. Instead of adding flour to my salmon cake mixture as I normally would have and learned to do in the past, I now add yellow cornmeal, about half a cup. And I love to add Italian style breadcrumbs. I don't have much in here, so I'm just going to use what I have. And to me, the breadcrumb mixture with the cornmeal mixture, it makes it taste so much better than the flour. Sometimes the flour can make it taste like gummy if you don't, even if you cook it crisp, the inside can still taste gummy. But with the cornmeal and the Italian breadcrumb mixture, it's almost like it's just like perfect. It's not almost, it is perfect. Trust me. But yeah, be patient with me, y'all. This is my first YouTube video. It's my first time recording by myself. So if the angles aren't right, or if, you know, the lighting isn't right, just be patient. It'll come with time. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know how I'm doing, and just, you know, follow my journey with me. It's all a learning experience. Nobody's perfect. Life ain't perfect. All right. Pan here filled with oil. Turn the heat on. Y'all, I turned this pot right here of grits up higher than I normally would because I thought it was the back one. So I turned it on. Right now it's on low, but I turned it on like 4 and this thing started popping. Let me tell you something. We ain't doing that Al Green stuff today. Now, if this wasn't for brunch, I normally would make like a nice Cajun remoulade sauce to go with this salmon cake mixture. Let me show you how it is. So, if you get it and you grab it like this, let me see. I'm not a fan of these kind of gloves, but you know, it is what it is. You know, look at this. It can hold. It's not crumbly, it's not falling. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. It holds. So, what I do with my salmon patties is you can make them however big or small you want to. I think for the YouTube sake, I'll make them a little bigger than I normally would. Normally, I'll make them a little bit smaller. But keep in mind, the bigger you make them and the thicker you make them, the, what am I trying to say? The thicker you make them, you're gonna just taste a whole bunch of like salmon, and it'll be soft in the middle as opposed to being like crunchy on the inside, a little firm, crunchy on the outside, a little firm on the inside. So this is like the perfect size, and I probably can get maybe 10 of these, maybe 8. So if you're gonna make them this size, you can. I know some people like to make them smaller. If I'm, ideally if I'm dealing with a event, a brunch, whatever the case may be, I'll make them smaller. I'll show you how small I make them. I would normally make them about this size, as opposed to this size. So here we go. I'm just gonna lay them in. Now I said I might make 8 out of these. I hope I can make 6 out of these. These are a little big. I am not even gonna hold you. Okay. So this is number 4. If I can make 6 out of these, I'll be good. Alright, so number 5. I'll put number 6 in the middle. Now, ideally, I would have the pot that I'm frying in front of me, as opposed to having the grits in front of me. It just makes more sense doing it that way. But either way is fine because I know what I'm doing. But for beginners, I would definitely have the frying pan in front of you and then the grits behind you. And also keep the grits with a lid on in case it starts to pop. And you don't want grits to pop in your oil. That would be a disaster. Alright, let's get back to it. Right here in the middle. Alright, take my gloves off. So now what I'm going to do is back here. Now what I'm going to do is get my scrambled egg mixture ready. And normally I would like to have biscuits with mine. I was going to make some homemade cinnamon rolls, but due to time, I'll do them in the next video. Look at something on my shirt. I'll do them in the next video. And yes, y'all, I know some of y'all are reading, looking at this. Yes, it says Chef Tony's Catering Sous Chef. This is not my shirt. This is my sous chef shirt. My owner shirt is currently in the wash, or is about to get washed. So this is why I have this shirt on. All right, one moment. Then turn this up too and let y'all see. Can y'all see? Alright, so that's how it looks. As it's cooking. You don't want it to cook too long, and you don't want it to cook too fast. If it cooks too fast, the outside will definitely get more done than the inside, and again you'll have a gummy inside, and you definitely don't want that. So I'll add 4 eggs here. Alright, so I got 4 eggs. And to these eggs, you can't even see over here. Hold on, y'all. To these eggs, I'm gonna add some garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, my essential dill weed, cayenne pepper, Y'all, just recently I started adding the seasoning salt to my scrambled egg mixture. And surprisingly, it's so good. A little bit of seasoning salt. And surprise, surprise, I'm gonna add some lemon pepper to the egg mixture. I got on my roommate. He added lemon pepper to the scrambled eggs one time. I'm like, oh, this is, I'm like, why would you add lemon pepper? It's surprisingly really good. So, a little bit of lemon pepper. Just a little bit. Alright, so if I had any, I don't have any milk or any heavy cream, but if I had any, I would definitely add it to my egg mixture, only because it brings a much needed fluffiness when you add milk or heavy cream to the egg mixture. Your scrambled eggs come out more fluffy, they just taste better. Now I have not added or tried like almond milk or oat milk, only because I don't think I would want that with my scrambled egg mixture. But I'm a fan of almond milk, fan of oat milk, fan of cashew milk, all that. So, and for those beginners that don't know how to scramble eggs, you can use a fork, old school, a whisk, whatever you want. So if you use a fork, just poke all the eggs like this, starting off, and then start whisking. If you know what you're doing, you know what I'm saying, hold at an angle. If you don't, you can still hold like this. Whisk it, 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 whisk, 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 whisk. Alright, so we're gonna set this to the side. All the seasonings are over here. So right here with the grits, we'll add some salt. We'll add some pepper. We're gonna add a little bit of garlic powder, just a little bit, not too much. You still want that classic taste. I'll turn this exhaust fan on. Let me start these roasted sweet potatoes. Ooh, these look good, y'all. Look how good these look. And these are done, actually. So what I'm going to do is turn this off. Keep this on. Stir up these grits. The last thing I'm going to do is add cheese to them at the last minute, because you don't want the cheese to almost curdle in a sense. So I love to add cheese at the last minute. And keep in mind, I already added butter to this while it was cooking. And these are just 2 cups of water to a half cup of grits. So let the water boil. Add your half cup of grits to your 2 cups of water. I added a half stick of butter. You add however much salt and pepper you want. I added a little twist, the garlic powder, and I'll use some cheese. So let this continue to keep rocking and rolling. This is not ideal for salmon cakes. You can use a spatula, but this is what I'm gonna use today. So, look at that, nice and golden. But don't burn yourself. If you know what you're doing, you won't burn yourself. Words of advice. Oof. So I got 6 salmon cakes. Let me show y'all. See how it looks. Out of that 1 can. Now, if I was doing it for like an event or, you know, just for a formal brunch, I can really get 12 out of these by reducing the size of these to half. Because in essence, you know, you'll have more stuff to go with the brunch as opposed to just the grits, salmon cakes, scrambled eggs, and then the potatoes. But it's all good. Alright, I'm back, y'all. Let me close this cabinet. Y'all gotta see my cabinet. So I got my plate to drain my salmon cakes off. I don't like too much oil, like when I plate it up or when I'm ready to plate it up. I don't want too much oil on it. So yeah, so right now I'm about to make the scrambled eggs and put this up. So I want y'all to leave in the comments, do y'all make y'all scrambled eggs with oil or butter? Me personally, I love to make my scrambled eggs with butter. I cannot stand oil. Oil for me is like I'm doing fried eggs. And it's, again, oily. So, one moment. I might do cheese eggs. I'm doing cheese grits, and I love cheese eggs, so I might have both. Unfortunately, I had my heat up a little higher than I would like for my eggs. Butter all around. Now the salmon cakes are ready to come out. Look at these. Let me bring it up here. Beautiful, I just want you to know. Alright, so let's get working with this, with these eggs. And after that, everything is pretty much done. You know what I forgot to add? I love this garlic and herb seasoning. It's really good. So I'm just making my scrambled eggs. We don't do brown eggs around here. If you're doing scrambled eggs, they should not need and never need to be brown. It's not all the way done yet, but we do not do brown scrambled eggs. That means your heat is too high and you left it on for way too long. Coming along. Some people add the cheese in right now. Me personally, I love to add cheese on top when it's done. I love to see the cheese. I know some people like to add it when, you know, like around this time, but baby, I love to see that cheese. Alright, so that's done. It's a good soft scrambled egg, but it still will be cooked. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is, I got some Kobe and Monterey Jack cheese. Just gonna go here and add it on top. Take it old school. I don't have a top for this pan. Cover it with a plate. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add some cheese to my grits. Add however much you want or like. I might add the rest of this bag actually. I love cheese grits. Some people don't. I love them. Look how creamy these grits are. I hate thick grits. We don't do thick grits around there. Alright, so it's all done. So here you have it. We got some salmon cakes. We got some creamy grits. Some sweet potatoes, onions and peppers. We got some scrambled eggs. Alright y'all, thank y'all for being patient, tuning in with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Trust me, it'll only get better from here. This is my first time doing this by myself. And you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Have a blessed one. Keep God first. Peace.